Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sound Test Room. This evening, we are going to be taking a look at NanoStudio 2, and we're going to just basically concentrate on two parts, two things, as you can see from the actual title of the description: how to do tempo changes and or time signature changes, at various points in your track, because many people like to do this. So, hi, Sir Effin. Walls here. Hi, Wall. Hey, Hozza, how you doing? Yes, thank you, Hozza. I got the message just now. Thank you very much. I'm rubbish with Facebook, mate. And yes. So, this is what we're going to do. So, it's super useful to be able to change the way your track plays. Oh, do you know what? I've got a spinny thing on me. What's it? Just hang on a sec, guys, and this will sort itself out. Hopefully soon. Let me just refresh. Anyway, well, the thing, can you hear me okay? This is the thing, and we don't, as long as I can see the chat stream, that's absolutely fine. But the thing is, I'm not actually managing to load my stream, so, oh, that's okay. So you can hear this okay as well? As long as you can hear everything, that's the important thing. Great. Okay. So it's just that my stream has just gone into, like, my screen of seeing YouTube has just gone into buffer mode. So, okay, so here we go. Here's the thing. It's nice to be able to do tempo changing and like change the thing. But first of all, we're going to look at sidechaining, because sidechaining is really popular with EDM and things like that, so we can get it to pump and stuff and do other nice things with sidechaining as well. So hopefully this won't go on for an hour. This might be quite a quicker live stream, because I want to get these 2 points across. And yes, James, strike that light. So here we have a very basic thing. Okay, so what we have here is this lo-fi crushed kit with just the bass kick drum. And then we have these cushion bits. And then just some strings. So I want the strings to sidechain to the kick drum. Okay. So easiest way to do this is to set up a side chain, and NanoStudio lets you do that really easily. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we need to choose the track, the channel that we want to duck to the bass drum sort of thing. Okay, so we want the strings to be affected by the bass drum. So each time the bass drum kicks in, we want the strings to duck a little bit, or duck a lot, depending on how you want your track to sort of pump, if you like. This is now, there's all sorts of cool ways you can use sidechaining, but if we get into trying to sidechain too much stuff, everything gets too confusing for people that don't understand it, and then it just becomes, well, I don't want to watch this because I'm not getting what's going on. So you pick the channel that you want to duck. So, for instance, the strings. We want the strings to be affected by the kick drum. So we go to our mixer section here, and where it says Obsidian Super Strings, we go to Audio Effects. And then what we want to do is add an audio effect. And the first thing we want to do, hi, everyone. Hi, Daniel from Les Productions de Bon is here. And, the guy with the amazingly cool sample packs. We add a compressor. Okay, we don't worry about the compressor at the moment. We're just going to leave that as it is. Then we're going to go back to our mixer, and we're going to go to our kick drum, or the channel that we want to affect. Hi, Paul. Or the channel that we want to affect the strings. So in our case, it's this slate lo-fi crust where we've just got the kick drum going. And we'll go this time, if you look down here, we can go to send. So you've got MIDI effects, audio effects, and send. I want to click on send. We don't want to be worrying about add a MIDI send. we want to go to add an audio send here. Okay, so click on that and you will see a list of places that you can send audio to with the kick drum. So you can send it to the super strings, or you can send it to, look what they've done, you see, because I've put a compressor onto the Obsidian super strings patch. You'll see it says number 4 is either Obsidian strings or it's another number 4, Obsidian strings, compressor sidechain. So they've made it really easy. There's no weird routing or odd setting up or anything like that. So we picked that, okay? So you see what I did there, audio, number 4, but the one that says compressor sidechain, that's important. Tap on that and you'll get this now, Obsidian Super Sync Compressor Sidechain. You can have it on pre if you want to, or you can choose the destination like this to SRC, and you'll see it'll go to return, sidechain return channel. So, okay, destination is there, and it's returning the. So, see this, look, crushed lo-fi kit. That is the send, okay? So we're sending the information to our Obsidian Super Strings. This isn't important. I'm just showing you that this is a cool way to do it. But once you've done this, you can access it kind of thing from the effects page. Okay. Now, let's go back to our audio effects now. And let's switch on the track. First thing you notice is nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen until we start to drop the threshold a lot and all sorts of other cool stuff. So for sidechaining, you really want, there's a couple of things you want. Okay, you might need to put the makeup gain up. You will need to reduce the threshold. As you reduce the threshold, you'll hear the sidechain start to kick in. After that, we can play with the filter. We can filter out the top end sort of thing, or we can set the ratios higher. Stuff like that. So let's just start this off. So I'm going to press play now, and I'm going to start to drag the threshold down, and we'll hear what happens to the strings. Okay. Now you can see how much reduction and how much sidechaining we're getting, and you can hear the sidechain effects kick in. But we can go more drastic, or we can go less drastic. We can do all sorts of stuff now by playing with the compressor. And well, let's try that. So let's pull the sidechain. Let's put the makeup gain up a bit. Let's pull the threshold right down. Let's make the attack really fast and the release quick. So once we've got the sidechain set up, that's it. So that's how easy it is to set up sidechaining inside NanoStudio. And of course, then you can start like maybe adding an extra kick drum, so you start to get more stuttery, gatey effects kind of thing. We could do that now. We could actually do that live, right? So hi, Paul. So that, yes, that's that. Yeah, no, that's sidechain. All you're doing is putting a compressor onto something and sending an instrument into that compressor, so that every time the compressor reads the kick drum, it compresses the strings. It literally pushes the strings to quite a volume. That's all it is, really. That's all compression is, really. It's just like an automatic volume control that you set to control the levels of your mix, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you don't want it to go so high. Or compressors are good for, like, classical music, or maybe where you've got a lot of dynamics, but the quieter bits are too quiet and you want people to hear them. So the compressor will let the quieter bits come higher a little bit. Compression's a whole other thing anyway, but that's sidechain compression. And then we could smooth it out by making the release longer. Or the attack less. Or the ratio. The filter won't make a lot of difference with this because the kick is already boomy. But if you've got like a drum pattern that's got hi-hats in it and stuff and snares and things, and you just want the kick part of it to really affect the strings or the pad or whatever you've got compressing, then you can use the SC filter to sort of take out the top end into the compressor. So the compressor's only hearing like the bass end of what's coming in and not the top end. So basically that's that part of it, right? So if we now go back to our mix. You can also play around with the mix button on here. It's exactly the same as what happens on the radio, or what happens in a car. Most car radios have compressors fitted, so that when outside road noise, well, most good ones, well, outside road noise gets too loud, the radio gets slightly louder. You don't really hear it, but you know that's how it works, theoretically, sort of thing. Anyway, so let's go back to our track a sec here. So we've got our compressor. And it's now compressing those strings for each kick drum, right? So that means that we could do some cool stuff. Let's just maybe highlight one section here. So by varying the rhythm of the kicks and things, you can get interesting rhythm effects. And it's not worth me like going through it all because you can understand that, right? You can see, oh yeah, right. If I had more kick drums there, I'm going to get a more. It's going to start like gating and things and transgating and stuff like that. Hi David, hi Tom. Right. So there's another very cool thing you can do with the compressor inside NanoStudio 2. Now at the moment the compressor, so you're getting it like offbeat, high rustic. So what's happening now is this: the kick is coming in, the strings are different. But if we hit this expander button now, what will happen is it will play the compressor will play on the kick, so it's a completely different effect. See, backwards, normal compression. So it's almost like the opposite of that once you hit the expander. It's very nice. Of course, the expander will do different things if you're not using the compressor as a sidechain sort of thing. I'll just get a swig, hang on. So yeah, so if you're just not using the compressor normally as a compressor, then your expander will expand the compression and not kind of make it go in the opposite direction if you're sidechaining. So there you go, guys. So if you can then go back and say for instance, interesting thing, right? Here's what we can do just to give you an example of something else as well. So let's just quickly let's mute that track, okay? no compression. Because we've muted it. However, if we go to our mixer and we just pull down the output fader, the compression, the kick drum signal has still been sent in its full output to the compressor, but we've just toned it down in the mix. So if you just wanted that effect, okay, if you just wanted that effect, then that's how you do it. You just pull it down on the mixer. But muting it won't work. Right. So here's another thing. You might have a drum loop, and the drum loop might have all sorts of stuff going on in it. You know, it might have drums, kicks, snares, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's cool. It's years and years. We've been using sidechain compression in dance music forever, haven't I? It's sickly. It makes me feel sick. If it's really loud, it's really sickening. I mean, it goes, but some people like it. It's very rare I use it really in anything that me and Colin do, because there's no real point in prog to sidechain anything really. Not in any kind of way. It's sidechaining is also a good way to control all sorts of levels of instruments, even of a normal nature, you know. But it's all messing with the controls. That's the thing. Anyway, let's take this. Let's mute this out. Okay, so we're not interested in that at the moment. We are interested in this. So let's play this drum pattern here. I'm just going to solo that. Okay, let's go back to our actual instrument. And I'm just going to record in some kicks into that. And then I'll record now we've got a drum track. Everything's sickening after a few pints. So let's delete these two parts now. Bing, like this. Delete, and let's just duplicate those two parts. So now we have a more busy drum pattern. Okay, which is going to be harder to control a sidechain from, but you might be using a loop and you still want the sidechain, but you need to really, things work best if the sidechain is on a that kind of thing, you know. Kick drum works best because that's the effect, the pumping effect you want. Anyway, this is another very cool feature of NanoStudio's compressor, it doesn't feature much on other compressors. So let's go back and do the same thing. Let's go to our super strings here. We're all right there. We know this. But we want now our slate crushed lo-fi. All right. We want our slate deep in to be sent to that compressor now. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll do this again. I'll take the compressor off so it's gone, so we can set it up from fresh. You could just send it to that compression setting, you know, that's fine. So there's nothing now, it's not retaining anywhere, there's no effects. So what I'm going to do is add the compressor, and that'll be back in its blank state, okay? And then we shall go to our mixer again, and I will go to deep slate deep in, which is the name of that busier pattern now. And again, we shall go to send. So this is, we want to send this information, and we shall add audio send, and we shall add it to super strings again like this. and you'll see that the destination there is Obsidian Superstrings, and it's been sent from. It's like returning of it's been sent from it deep in the Slate kit. Okay, so we can leave that on there. So that's fine. But going back to there in a sec, I'll show you what you can do with these. But it doesn't really, you can do it all from your compressing screen. It's fine. Okay, so this time let's turn this on. I'm going to actually extend it again. So we're just playing the whole thing. So we've got our lo-fi kick muted, and that's out the way. So this is just those two tracks now. Okay, so what's going to happen now is the compressor is going to be listening to that entire track coming in. It's going to hear it all. So it's not going to be as clean as a ding, 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 solid thing, you know. So let's see what happens. Drag our threshold down. See, it's messy. But using the SC filter and pulling it down, what we're basically doing is taking out what the compressor, all the top end that the compressor's hearing, or all its bass end. If we go top end, if we pull it down, we're going to be the compressor just going to be listening to the bass end of that drum pattern. So we should be able to get a cleaner signal coming through to the compressor from the kick drum part of the loop, you know. Let's try that. Excellent. And it'll work the same now with the expansion. But if I take this filter back up, it starts to get really messy. Okay, so is everyone still with me? Can you still hear me okay? Because my screen is just buffering. It's just buffered since it started. So it's not actually doing anything. It's brilliant. Thanks, Stephen. So it's really cool, right? It's brilliant. And that was just messing out the compression settings for that. So you've seen it, even if you've got a loop that's really, really busy and really messy, by pulling that SC filter down, it will kind of isolate the kick. It's not really isolating anything. All it's doing is letting the compressor just hear the bass end and just let the sidechain work from the lower frequencies of the actual kick. That's it, really. So if you're not sure, if you go back and you watch the first part, you'll get automatically. Go and have a go. But like I said, this is a NanoStudio 2 tutorial for their compressor. You can't sidechain in some. I don't think Cubase lets you sidechain. Yeah, this lets you group and everything. What this doesn't have at the moment is audio recording. But anyway, now the next thing we're going to look at is the other thing that people really love and ask for a lot is. I want to be able to change tempo halfway through a track or something through a track, change my time or time signature maybe. NanoStudio lets you do that as well. But it's a little bit confusing at first, but I shall take you through it step by step like I did with the compressor. So hopefully you find the compressor section really useful and helpful if you wanted to sidechain, because I know lots and lots of people like to sidechain, but you can sidechain all sorts of stuff. You could set up a completely new section, sidechain it the opposite way with a different sound, you know, put the expander in, so you've got opposite compression going on two different tracks from two different kicks, because you don't need to actually hear the volume of the kick. If you remember, if you turn it down in the mix, you're good to go. Right, okay, now here we go. So I just called to say two quick hello and to strike the light. Thanks, James. Sorry, Doug, you lost me. Hi, everyone. No, honestly, go back and watch it again, mate. You'll get it. You'll get it. Honestly, you just need to watch it a couple of times and it'll all of a sudden click, oh, I get it. Right, so let's do this. Let's go to our projects, and I might have set up some sort of drum pattern. Let's see. Wait a second. Yeah, I want to keep my project. Sidechaining, where is it now? Did I set up? Did I? I might not have actually. Right, doesn't matter. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly do a new project. Actually, do you know what? I could do it on that one, couldn't I? I'll do it on a drum track. It'll be clearer. Let's save changes to side chaining. Yes, keep. I'll just call this. We'll call this tempo stuff. This is right. Okay. Okay, so now we've got a kind of a basic drum pattern. Excuse me. Right. Let's say, for instance, we want our tempo to change after bar 9. Okay. So we want it to go from, say, 120, which it's on now, to, I don't know, should we speed it up? Let's go up to 140. All right. Right, it could, I don't know why mine is, but mine's just completely just not even playing. It's just buffering. It's not playing the video at all. But obviously you can hear me okay. Joe? Oh, Joe's doing something, I think. Anyway, right. Here's along the top here, you'll see 3 little icons. Well, you'll see 6 little icons, but the 3 on the bottom. There's the one, the little thing with the thing pointing down like that. Tap on that and you'll see tempo and time signature. And at the other end, you'll see 2 plus buttons. Highlight the tempo track because that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. And then hit plus. And this will bring up this little dialogue and it will say tempo at 9.01, which is the bar 9. Here we go. What we can do now is let's set our tempo. What did I say we do? 140. You have to be with because this way moves fast once it starts. So let's go to 140. So now that tempo is set at 140. So all we need to do is go set. And you will see that we'll have 2 things appear now, 120 and 140 where our cursor is. Okay. No rustic Cubasis. I use them all. So 140. Okay. So we've got 120 to start and then 140. And then it will stay on 140 until the end of the song because unless I change it again, which we shall do. So let's go back to the beginning now. So it will start on 120 for 2 bars and then it will all of a sudden jump up to 140. Now it'll go to 140. And just to make this plainly obvious, you want to, you can do tempo changes per bar. Okay, not per beat, but per bar. So excuse me, for every single bar, you can have a tempo change if you want to. So we've got let's count for 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is another. We don't need to split anything. We don't need to do anything with anywhere else. We just need to play with this timeline here. Let's go plus here. And we're going to, what it's happening is it will add, yes, you can set a ramp, Stephen. I'll show you that in a minute. And time signature changes. Okay, so what we've got now is we've got at this cursor here, right? At the cursor, the cursor there, the cursor. From a cursor onwards is your tempo change. So plus, and what did I say? We could go up, or we could go right down. We go right down really low. So let's go down to, I don't know. Right, so this is going to go down to 87.5. Set. From bar 13, it'll go to 87. So you can see 120, 140, 87.5. So let's start from about there. We'll go to 140 for 4 bars. So this means you could set up real cool halftime shuffles and things like that. Okay. All right. So we've done that right now. Let's take this. Let's show you how to do a ramp. All right. So let's set our cursor here. And let's do another split point. Okay. Now, I want my volume, I want my tempo to ramp up from 120 to 140. Okay. Normally how a ramp would work, right? That's how it would work. If I do it here right at the beginning, it will start to go from 120 to 140 straight away. But I want, say, 4 bars of 120 before it starts to speed up to 140. And in fact, what we will do is go there and I will change that tempo even faster so the ramping is more obvious. So we'll go plus, and at the moment it's at 140. We'll take this right up there to, say, 161.9 set. So now we've got 3 tempos again, 120, 169. And from bar 5, so we've got 4 bars of 120, and from bar 5, I wanted to speed up from 120 to 161.9 BPM. So we click add, and then we just set this at 120. Now it's already on 120 because we're in the 120 zone, so you don't need to worry about that. Hit ramp value, okay, and then set. And you will see it says 120R. So that means it's a 120 ramp. Now, the ramps will work in the opposite direction, of course. The key thing to remember is where you want to ramp from, you want that to be the speed that it's already at. Otherwise, you're not going to get a ramp. You're going to get a jump in volume, and a jump in tempo or a change in tempo, and then a ramp. You don't want that. So this is the effect you're going to get now with a ramp. Oh, I'm dying here. Right. Okay, we say, well, all right then. Well, I want that 161. From there, from when it starts at 161, I want it to ramp down to, we can leave it on 87.5, but we can ramp it down even further just to get the effect. Let's ramp this down to, say, 63.5 BPM, okay? And we'll set that volume at 63.5. This one, we want it to ramp down. So we go to the beginning of our thing there, our cursor, our bar where we want the ramp to start. And we have to enter this one now. And what we should do this time is just hit ramp value and then set. And that will change that to a ramp, either up or down. So you can see we're going to start at 120. We're going to hit bar 5, and from 120, it's going to speed up to 161.9. And as soon as it hits that 161.9, it's going to start to slow down till it gets to bar 13, where it'll be at 63.5. And you can actually, you can't really see, but where's my thing? I don't need it to be switched on around. But you can actually see there in the tempo. Now, it's highly unlikely that you can actually see this but you can see there the tempo counter there. So there you go. Right, so brilliant. Here we go. So we should get our three, 1, 2, 3. We've got four tempo changing events now. Excuse me. So there you go, guys. This is how you do all kinds of different tempo changes. Time signatures. Time signatures. So also as well, it's fair to point out that if anytime you want to change any of this stuff, right, you can like hold it and you'll get this little thing here. You can move it along like this. And what that'll do is extend the one you can see or decrease it like this. So having this set like that, it will ramp down from 161 to 63 over the course of one bar, like this. Okay. Or we can highlight it and we can move it back to the original position, or we can delete the 63 or whichever one's highlighted. So we could delete that 161 ramp highlight and we just do that. So any one that you delete, you can, or you can redo it anytime you like. Or you undo or redo sort of thing. So we'll undo that. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of this. We shall just leave this for now on 120, and I will get rid of all of that. So I shall, for now, just quickly choose a different instrument sort of thing. So that's a waltz. We'll do a waltz. We'll do 3, 4. We'll just use this basic 1, 2, 3. Right, so 1, 2, 3. What I need to set me tap. So let's go back to our thing here. We go for. I'm going to start this off. Time signature, okay, and make sure my thing is set at the beginning. And on the time signature one, I'm going to hit the little plus. And we can set our time signatures for the beginning. I'm going to set it at 3, 4, which is a waltz. You can, say whatever you like, you know what I mean? But I'm going to do 3, 4. You can go 2s, 1s, 2s, 8, 16, 30 seconds. 3, 4, we could do 6, 8s. Right, so here we go. 3, 4. Now we should have a, let's just engage it. No, you've got to remember to hit set. And then it'll put, so we've got 120 BPM, 3, 4 like this. Okay, so we'll quickly record that. Oh, hang on. Right, so about here, At bar 11, we shall insert another tempo change and we'll go back to 3/4. Excuse me again. Set 4/4. So we got 3/4/4/4 now at bar 11. And I will also change the tempo up to 140. Let's do 140 for this. Right, okay. Set. And it's 140. And then I will set my thing from there. And let me just have a quick listen here. Okay, cool. I'm going to go from there. Anyway, all that nonsense there. The whole point here is to show you that it now will start at 120, do a 3/4 pattern. Do a 3/4 pattern and then change, it'll speed up to 140 and do 4/4. Epic. We don't need to hear that. So there you go. There you go, guys. There is how I like Stage Light. I haven't used Stage Light much, but it is good, though, because there's a lot of stuff going on in Stage Light. Right. I did some really good tutorials for Stage Light. It's a nice piano, isn't it? Sound, I mean. Listen, guys, so there you go. Sidechaining, useful. Changing tempo mid-track and also changing time signature mid-track. Also super useful. You know, Hozon, honestly, the sidechaining, I mean, I never use sidechaining. So every time I want to do anything with sidechaining, I have to rack my brain to remember how to do it. And luckily, Platinum Audio did loads of very cool NanoStudio 2 tutorials when it first came out, and sidechaining was one of the ones he covered. But he also covered all the cool stuff you can do inside the compressor, which is basically what I've just done. Right, so that's what I've just done. But also the changing tempo, I found it a little bit, I couldn't find any tutorial online on how to actually set the tempo. So I had to kind of work it out. But all you need to do is where you want your tempo change is put your cursor, and then from that cursor onwards will be the tempo change that you set here. And it tells you tempo at 23.1. And then you can set it. Or if you want that value to be a ramp value, so I wanted to go, say, from this 140 down to another tempo there, like I showed you earlier, you set that as a ramp value. So you just basically change that to ramp, and it would change it to ramp, or set a new tempo sort of thing. So there you go. Anyway, guys, I am going to go. Listen, thank you guys for joining me this evening, and I hope you enjoyed that. I really, honestly, I really hope you found it useful. And, you know, I hope it... Is there any way to set arrangement markers? I don't... There's these. I don't... You know, you can set these markers any way you like, and you can just have it continually loop round and round sort of thing. I don't know other than what that is. Oh, where you jump to certain markers. No, there isn't. I don't think you can do that. I never use that kind of thing. If I want to work on one piece, I'll just loop it round at this marker position. Of course, you have to remember to actually switch song loop mode on. Like that, like song loop. And when you go in, it'll say track tempo is enabled, track sig is enabled sort of thing. And wherever you are, it'll show you kind of thing. But now it would loop round. If I was to take it, let's take it back to just a couple of bars. It'll just keep looping round and round there. Actually, that sounded better than the piano piece. Right, so there you go. I really hope you found this this useful. $300 is already a lot of money for me, unfortunately. What's $300? What's $300? Did I miss part of the thread? Can someone tell me what Woozy was on about $300? Cuba's upgrade. I'm still not getting it, but I'll have to go back and look. I'd like to try Cubase's to get the free version. Is there there's nothing's 300. Cuba's upgrade against Steven. Cuba's upgrade. What's your spell check him? Worry about Cubase, the desktop version. The desktop version of Cubase. I don't use that neither. Right, Cubase 10, right, yeah. I don't use that neither now. I don't use any desktop stuff now. And, you know, it's sad, really, but my computer just can't deal with it. Steinberg have offered me Cubase and everything, you know, the full Monty Wacker version on the desk. And they even sent me Elements, and they said, you won't need dongle and that, and you want the button. And my computer just wouldn't run it. It'd just go, So I'm quite happy to use the iPad as the total 100% recording medium for everything now. It's great. I'm very pleased with how it works. I know it works. I love the apps. I love Cubases. I love the limitations as well. I really don't mind. If something needs to be done, it's interesting to find a workaround for it. You've got great things like this, so you can do all your work in this. Like save a file to transport this into Cubases if I want to record some audio now. Great stuff. It's great stuff. My Reason 10 is all. I've taken every apart from T-Rax, which I used to master the Doug and Colin albums. There is no music software or anything on that computer no more because it just doesn't work. It's ancient and it just doesn't work. I couldn't be bothered. And the thing I used to monitor this is a Mac Mini, and because that's got Logic on it, you know, Logic Pro X, and I don't use any of this stuff. I use this computer now to monitor the live streams and to do other work because it's got the big screen. I use my computer to do other bits and pieces as well, like mastering things as well, because it still works, just not very good. It's just old now, you see, just old, and it's too much like hard work. I just want to learn how to do what I've got, you know, properly. Doug, when are you doing Digistix Part 2 video? Well, when the Digistix Part 2... oh, no, it's already had an update. We've got another update coming, I think, if Paul's still here. But next week sometime, probably, I would think, when I get my head around it, when I think he did. But, yeah, it has had one update. I think there is another one. Lovely. Anyway, guys, I've done it. Joe said I'd do this. I said I'd say ta-ra and then spend half an hour saying ta-ra. Guys, I'm 100%, definitely 100% going. Thanks very much for joining me. And I honestly, like I said before, I hope, yeah, so the next update will be in a couple of days, so that'll be cool. And then we shall sort one out next week, I should think. Yes. Anyway, you're welcome, Heinz. How's Stephen? Thanks, everyone. PIL, Jim, Woozy, Paul, everyone who joined us on the stream, all the Pauls. Brilliant. I shall see you, Sir Effin, Cy Effin, hi Cy. And yes, and I know you did. Cy did say he was going to catch us on the live stream tonight from Patreon. Right, okay, guys. Top job, cool beans, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Ta-ra. Thank you for watching.